was having a dream about being on the river, and I could feel the water on my face. And I was like, wow, this is great. And then I woke up and I felt my face and it was still wet. Because then I could hear like, oh, it's a torrential day. I'm like, okay, it's just real. Maybe we should fix that.
And then it started blowing.
Yep.
It was blowing hard. And you and I both at the same time kind of like, okay, we need to we gotta take measures, get out of the warm sleeping bag.
Yep.
So we come into this hole, and it's got like this rock wall on the side where the river's moving pretty fast, and it's got this really deep hole kind of on the inside corner, and we come in on that, and lo and behold, the old man fish on, and it is game on action. So I do the commando stop, drop, and roll, jump out of the raft. It was a battle.
It was a battle. It took a good long while.
It
was a good 15, 20-minute fight.
Yeah, it was fun. Perfect hook set, right smack in the middle of the nose on the upper lip. He wasn't getting off unless the line had broke.
Yep.
And it was a wild steelhead, about 11 pounds. Beautiful fish, some great pictures, good. Had my adrenaline going. That was fun.
As soon as that fish got off the hook, you would literally turn and we're running up the... We're stopping here. We're staying on the beach.
And we're fishing some more. I got a good feeling. Well, I went right back to the hole, flipped that sucker in for about, I don't know,
3 minutes?
3 to 4 minutes maybe max. At the most. Absolutely. And fish on again. So I'm holding this fish, and I got it by the tail pretty good, but I don't want to squish under its head or hurt its gills or do whatever. So it's kind of loose in the front, not kind of like it's totally loose. Well, this fish decides it's had enough of my action, and it's getting out of here. So Mike is doing the pose. He's down in the water, and he's working the camera, and I'm trying to hold and get the right sunlight, and this fish comes out of my hands. And Micah catches this fish, and it's like a 5-frame fish coming out in my head. I'm like going,
You see like the progression of like, this is good, this is great. Oh my gosh, there it goes.
My high of the day today, it wasn't the fish. It was my son showing me these pictures of me looking like a ding-dong. And we just rolled on the rocky beach and had the best laugh. It was the perfect part of the day. My highlight of the trip so far was just that moment with you, and we laughed and had a great time. I went through a year and a half at least, maybe even 2 years, where shame overran my life. It devastated me, because what I focused on was I'm done, I'm not worthy, I'm not loved, where did everybody go, I'm a piece of crap, right? And the more I thought that, well, the more impactful that became, right? Ultimately to the point where I had a noose around my neck, literally, and wanted to be gone. It was before I got remarried, and I was at the pit of my level of shame. The ringing voice in my head was, you're finished, God will never use you again, your best days are behind you, you're disqualified, you're a horrible person, look at how many people you have hurt. And that tape message in my own mind and in my emotions and the words that were coming out of my mouth were me saying to myself, you suck, you're horrible, and look at how much pain you've caused. And my emotions were so on edge and frayed for an extended period of time, and it culminated one evening. I was living by myself. Micah was with me part-time, but I was living by myself at this house out by Samish Island. There was this big madrona tree that overhung the driveway, and it was at about 1:30 in the morning. I remember it was in November, it was cold and raining. I got up out of bed, went to the garage, grabbed a 10-foot ladder and a tugboat rope and went and tied a noose around this madrona tree in this driveway, stood on the top step of a 10-foot ladder, put a noose around my head, puking my guts out. I was so emotionally, I was just wailing. I'd wail and I'd throw up. And I just remember it was blowing rain and cold, and I was this close to stepping off of that ladder, and God, I believe that was from Him. I pictured my kids, and in particular, I pictured Jasmine, my youngest. Jasmine was 7 years old at the time, and I remember just thinking, what if you do this? What kind of legacy or what kind of a memory are my kids gonna have if I step off this ladder? And so I got off the ladder and I literally laid on the ground and threw up, got on my hands and knees and just wailed at God. And went back, got in bed, slept a couple hours, got up in the morning, the rope was hanging from the tree, and I turned it into a swing. And it was a reminder to me, because I was trying to decide, am I going to take the rope down or do I leave it? And for me, it was, I'm going to leave it, and I made it into a swing for Jasmine. And that was a time for me where I had to choose what am I going to do? And at the same time, God put some people into my life that gave me messages of hope.
This idea of forgiving ourselves. I can look good, I can behave well enough, I can conform. Generally, people will like me if folks really knew and could see in and read this inner screen of my heart, see what was going on inside of me, they'd run away. I'd run away from myself. And there's this idea in me, at some level, that continues to lose power, but it says, I really am a joke. I really am a poser. I really am a pretender. I spend most of my time posturing. And all the time, God says quietly, I love you, Mark. I know you. I know all that. I want to say, I want him to go away and leave me alone. Don't know me so well. Let me just do my prayers and my devotions and say the right words. And let me just perform for you. And stop seeing my heart. And once in a while, during the day, I shut up. I let him see my heart. And he says, I love you, Mark. And I go, I know, and that's what scares me.
I kind of feel like in a way this trip is helping to compress time in terms of ground that we needed to cover, or just being around each other in a different environment like this. I think really helps kind of compress that journey a little bit, which is good. That's cool. Look at that rock up there. See how it's got a hole in it? Yeah, that's cool. One of the things that we were kind of asked before we came on this trip, in our paperwork, was, is there any question you'd like to ask? And my question is, since the stuff went down with me and your mom, I know there's been occasions where I've asked for your forgiveness and you've offered that. And I guess part of me is wondering, now that this much time has passed, where do you and I stand in terms of kind of your forgiveness of me, because I know that my choices, good night, your senior year and your whole world coming apart and what you understand as family and all that stuff had a big impact on you. And I think it's good to kind of check in and see kind of where we're at in terms of just you're forgiving your dad.